This is Wairarapa, and it's sheep country. And Rally Road. And the birthplace of a famous Kiwi. Now this may look like a bit of an unusual rock, but here in Pongaroa, this is something very cool and very meaningful. This memorial represents Maurice Wilkins and his team that recognised the double helix of DNA. Maurice Wilkins and his team were awarded the 1962 Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine for this work. It's pretty cool, eh? Good on you, Maurice. And another famous Kiwi chick, Manukura. Well, actually, she's back there having a sleep. But it goes to show that Wairarapa, famous for all sorts of Kiwis. And I'm quite proud to say that this will be our base for Rally Nation this week. Coming up this week on Rally Nation, more big boys toys and how far would you go to get a sponsor? At home with an NZ champion, and we preview Rally Otago. Hi and welcome to Rally Nation, I'm Kendyl Coleman. Well, when you think of Wairarapa, sheep play a huge part in this province. Masterton is home of the Golden Shares, the World Championship of sheep shearing. But it's also home to our NZ Rally champions, Richard and Sarah Mason.
It's always hard after you've won a championship to then go, right, what am I going to do now to better what I did last time? And I suppose at some stage you realise that you're not necessarily bettering what you did in the past. It's about doing the best you can every time you get in the car. And for me, we wanted to win the 2012 New Zealand Rally Championship and got off to a bit of a bad start. So the best way to go about that now is just to get out, win stages and turn that into rally wins. This is my home base in Masterton. Our workshop is behind our house and it's fairly large. We've got about 300 square metres of shed here. We've got a hoist for the car. Quite a good place to be able to work on the car. I can wander up to the shed after dinner or work or whatever and just spend some time up here getting things prepped up, ready to go for the next rally. A lot of people said to us, oh, husband and wife teams in a rally car. That's not going to work, but we don't have that trouble. We don't really argue in the car or anything like that. We're pretty compatible, in our love life as well as our rally life. We can have a harsh word with each other without it being a fight, like it's a business relationship when we're in the car and we've got a job to do. Every year I say to myself, don't pick out one person that's going to be your main competition. I always think that there could be someone new coming through and you've got to keep your eyes open. And the best way to combat that is to think to yourself, righto, am I doing the best job that I can? Is there something I could do to my car to make it a bit faster? Because someone is always going to be going fast, and it goes in cycles a bit. Sometimes, you have a bit of a tough year, and we've been there, 2010 for us was really tough. We had a new car, and things didn't quite go the way we wanted with suspension and the lights, and we spent a year chasing our tail. Now we've got a fast car, and I think there's other people out there that have been the same. Chris West has been consistently fast driver for the last 10 years, a bit like us. He's had a couple up and down years as well, but at the moment he's on form. I reckon we're on form. And it's interesting to see who's coming through. Alex Kelsey has done a really nice job of building a grouse car. I think he's just having a good time learning how to develop that and learning his driving at the same time. So maybe he's the one to watch. I'm not sure. We'll just won't count anyone out.
Coming up, we'll check out the action from the stages of Wairarapa. But before any of the Brian Green Property Group NZ Championship cars hit the stages, they come here to rally scrutineering. Now, I've got Terry, you're a scrutineer. Do most of the cars come through up to scratch?
Yeah, most of them are prepared to a very good level. We find very few faults with them, and they generally go through without any problems at all.
So when the cars do fail, what happens there?
The crews are given a chance to rectify the problem. Each vehicle carries a logbook, and the record of its safety audits and its compliance audits are all kept in that logbook, so they've got information to reference back to.
How often do the rules change?
Not terribly often, but they've just changed recently. We've got a brand new rule book has been issued out on the 10th of April this year, and this is the first major event since that rule book's been issued, and there's been a few people caught out on small rule changes.
So once the guys have been caught out for something, how much time do they have?
Well, safety's paramount. It's a dangerous sport if you're not up to the right safety levels, so we require that the cars are up to that standard now. The crews that have been found wanting this time have been sent away, and they've all rectified the problem this afternoon. They're ready to go rallying tomorrow.
Speaking of new rules, I just saw some guys changing some roll cage padding.
Yes, the standards are changed in the new book regarding roll cage padding in the affected areas by the passengers and the drivers, and some of the drivers haven't been up to date with that, so we've been able to rectify that.
Thanks, Terry. I've just seen another cool car, Andrew Hawkswood's Audi Quattro. Let's go and check it out. Built in 2008 by Andrew's Force Motorsport team in Manukau City, this replica is a realisation of Andrew's dream of owning one of the greatest all-time rally cars from the heyday of Group B World Championship rallying. The Quattro revolutionised rallying by paving the way in four-wheel drive technology. And Andrew certainly gets the most out of this beast by participating in all manners of motorsport. This really is one of rallying's coolest cars. So thanks, Andrew, for building this car for all of us to enjoy. Coming up after the break, more cool cars. Things go wrong for Kingsley Thompson, and David Holder puts Richard Mason under the grill. Welcome back to Rally Nation. Well, I know myself, I'm starting to find it pretty chilly, but these guys here, they'll come out in any condition. So Amanda, who have you come down here to cheer for?
Chris West, I think. I saw him out on the stage yesterday and he definitely looked fast, spectacular, and I'm expecting more of the same in this stage.
So who are we cheering for today?
Richard Mason.
Oh, what's his name?
Oh, Richard Mason.
Probably Chris, yes.
Richard Mason.
Richard Mason.
Chris.
Yeah, Richard Mason.
Trevor Taylor.
Yeah, I'm a Macedon boy, so Richard Mason.
Chris.
So did the spectators get to see the action they came for? Here's Darcy Walgrave with the highs and lows of Rally Wairarapa.
Racetech Trust House Rally Wairarapa was held over 2 days through the Tararua district and the Wairarapa province. Kingsley Thompson scored first on stage 1. But from then on, it was the local hero Richard Mason who took the lead and was never headed over 2 days. His lead at the end of day 1 was 41 seconds, with Chris West and Sloane Cox virtually tied in second place. Alex Kelsey and Emma Gilmore still close to that battle as well. On day 2, Mason held his own, so all attention was on the battle for second. Cox punctured twice,
5 right plus, we need change it.
and that dropped him out of the race. Then West suffered a mysterious drop in fuel pressure and parked up on the side of the road. Gilmore was now securely in second and held Alex Kelsey at bay through the final stages. Kelsey finished third. Kingsley Thompson had been slowed on day one with a puncture and was on a charge through day two, but that ended against the tree in spectacular style. Plenty of action in the class battles with 3 Fiestas entered. Phil Campbell took an early lead despite driving out of stage 2 on a puncture. He was just half a second in front of Josh Marston at the first service. Marston had problems.
Just having a bit of problems driving the car. It feels like a boat out there on the roads and very loose, so hopefully after service it's much better.
David Holder punctured on stage 3 and was never in the hunt from then. Campbell took the class win in the end, finishing 9th overall. The historic class belonged to Marcus van Klink right from stage 1. He broke the 2-wheel drive record on almost all the stages. This year has seen Marcus make a huge step forward with the performance of his Group B RX-7. Van Klink would leave the competition in his dust and finished 7th overall. But a good little battle behind in the historic class. Duncan McCosty had his Bluebird Turbo wound up on the early stages, but retired on Saturday morning with a broken drive shaft. Hugh Spence was just starting to put in some good times in his Mazda BFMR when he had a bad time on stage 6 and rolled out of the rally. Ron Davey then took over the battle for second in class and spent the rest of the rally locked in battle with the Toyota AE86 of Miles McElwain. McElwain actually beat Davey on 9 of the 16 stages, but Davey made his stage times count. And at the end of Sunday, Davey had edged out a 43.3 second lead. And 2 all-comers entries from outside the championship who competed over both days came away with great results. Marty Smith in his Legacy finishing 10th overall and just 3.6 seconds ahead of 11th placed Cameron Young in his Lancer. So in the overall New Zealand Championship, Alex Kelsey has 51 to Richard Mason's 48 and Gilmore on 47. What a comeback by Mason. In the Gold Star Group N Championship, though, it's Emma Gilmore who leads with 53 from Mason. Matt Jansen drops to 3rd, 2 points behind.
This is the small town of Pongaroa. Now, on a day-to-day basis, not a lot goes on here, but on Rally Wairarapa weekends, this place becomes Rally Central. Now, I've built a few cars in my time and I know that every single nut and bolt is absolutely crucial. I'm going to go and have a chat to the service crew and see exactly what it is they're doing in this 20-minute service break. So Brendan, I see you got a few spanners in your hands there. What are you up to?
Just doing a full spanner check over the car just to make sure nothing's come loose in the previous stages, and just make sure no rocks have damaged the underside of the car, and yeah, change the tyres over for the next stages.
Do you ever find that anything rattles loose?
It's better to check, but you never know.
So part of being a co-driver is also helping with things like refuelling. Do you just come in and fill it all the way to the top?
It's not quite like a service station. Everything's about weight here, and the extra fuel adds up to the weight, so we try to keep it as low as possible. When you're fighting for a couple of seconds a stage, that all makes a difference. So
8 right, K200.
So you have to calculate exactly how many kilometres, average speed?
Yeah, we're working that out based on a competitive distance, which we'll use probably a litre per kilometre, and then on the touring stage, well, it's a lot less than that.
Wow, litre per kilometre.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and I don't know how much that fuel costs, but I don't pay the bills, so yeah, that adds up a bit.
Looks like Team DeLucy have got everything under control, so for us, it's time to put a senior driver under the grill.
Kia ora, my name's David Holder. I'm 23 years old. This is my first time doing the New Zealand Championship. I'll be driving the Holder Brothers Racing Toyota event. Some people don't realise how physically demanding rallying can be. What types of physical training do you find beneficial for rallying?
Fitness is obviously a key factor in any motorsport, and you know, over the last couple of years I wasn't really as fit as I possibly could be. Over the off season I spent quite a bit of time going for swims and working out at the gym and just slimming down and getting a bit fitter. It's not that it's a physical thing in a rally car, it's more that it's mental. And like the first thing to go when you're in a rally car or in any type of sport is your mind. So if you're not physically able to have, a high heart rate and be puffing out a bit of air, then your brain's going to suffer, and you could be up for a crash or something like that. So fitness is a big thing, and it is a sport.
Some people do anything for money. What advice do you have for someone like myself starting out, just looking for sponsorship support?
Well, getting sponsors is a hard thing to do, and we've been very lucky. We've got a very good sponsor in B&T, but that didn't come about all in one go. Like, it's just a matter of getting out there and doing your best. Maybe the underpants thing's not so good, but in my opinion, I did send off some sponsorship proposals to a condom company once upon a time. My thinking, we don't care what we've got on the car as long as we're getting the money, and as long as it's not obscene or something, then we'd go for it.
Once you got support from your sponsors, how do you go about keeping them happy and making sure they're getting value for their money?
Why don't you just talk to them? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to have a plan of what they want to do with their sponsorship and where they want to head. So if you talk to them, they might say, hey, we don't really need that bigger sticker on the car, but maybe you want an in-car camera and we want to get some coverage of you like that. Maybe you want to see you in the undies a bit more, who knows? Whatever you do, you just got to talk to them, be friends with your sponsor. It's an important thing, like it's a two-way street.
Some valuable advice there for all of you up-and-coming champions. And don't forget that you can always post questions to the drivers on the NZ Rally Championship Facebook page, which is on screen now. Well, before I leave the service park, I've come down here to the Dunlop tyre crew to find out about rally tyres. Now, Richard, not all tyres are created equal, are they?
No, they're not. No. Dunlops tend to read the sort of pick of the tyre that a lot of them tend to use in the championship.
And what can drivers do to make their tyres a bit more grippier out there?
With the old tyre they used to put a cut through it, but with this new design that we've got now, the grooves are a lot wider open, bigger blocks.
And what about tyre pressures? I know in drag racing it's really crucial that you get them exactly right. Is that the same in rally?
It is, yes. In between stages, when they're touring, the tyre will cool down, they've got to set it to the right optimum pressure so it actually gets the heat, make the actual compound work in the tyre.
So what happens if the tyres are overpressured?
They'll find that they won't get the same sort of traction, and later on in the stage they'll just get a bit hot, the compound, and they'll just feel like a bit like jelly, really, at the end of coming out to the end of the stage.
So this one here to me looks pretty worn. Has it got any life left in it?
Yes, they probably in the championship team won't to run something like that, but like a club guy and that sort of thing they'd sell it to, and yeah, or maybe they run it on the rear of the car if they're sort of running low on them.
Thanks, Richard. Coming up after the break, we meet Dave Strong, NZ S2000 driver, and your guide to the best spots on round 3, Rally Otago.
Hi, I'm Dave Strong from Mount Wellington, Auckland. I've been rallying for 31 and a little bit years, and this is my car. This is a Ford Fiesta Super 2000 rally car. It originally was a 1600 car. It is now a 2-litre Duratec. About the only thing standard in it, or original, is the cylinder head casting and the block casting. It revs to 8,500 revs. The best thing about it is it doesn't have a turbo, because turbos make cars sound terrible. They sound like tractors, and this car doesn't sound like a tractor. Everything on this car is modified. Starting with the suspension, there's nothing original. Everything is handmade, machined, designed for its optimum. The brakes are huge. They're 4-piston front and rear, 300mm brakes, unbelievable braking. Moving on to the body of the car, really the only thing unmodified is the door and the roof, and even the roof is riveted on. The rest of it is composite carbon Kevlar, for one reason, going faster or saving weight. I mightn't be the fastest guy out there because really I'm 20 years too old, but you'll see it coming. It's a great sounding, looking car. So hopefully you'll see me out on the roads. And for guys and girls that are interested, come and talk to me at service parks. I can show you around the car and get you to appreciate what we've got. We've got 2 of these cars in New Zealand. They won't be making any more of them. I think we're pretty lucky to have them here.
That's another Rally Wairarapa done and dusted. Next weekend, the Brian Green NZ Rally Championship will be powered by Brother at Rally Otago. It's an iconic event and a real favourite with the spectators because it also features the International Classic Rally Otago. So where do you go to get the best view? Let's ask our drivers.
Rally Otago is a great event for drivers and spectators alike. And following on from last year's successful trial, the first 3 stages will be run on Friday night after a start in the Octagon at 6:15 p.m. So a great chance to see the cars, grab a photo and get a rally map.
Hi, my name's Emma Gilmore. My favourite stage at the Otago Rally is Forey Flat, close to the centre of Dunedin. We're going to be doing it at night time this year. It's going to be great. There'll be lots of spectators out there.
The stage has 3 fords, which can be tricky to negotiate at night. Spectators head up 3 Mile Road and turn off at Flagstaff Road. It'll be a great atmosphere here, so bring air horns and whistles and join in the fun. On Saturday morning after service, the crews head out of Dunedin north to Palmerston. Stage 4 and 5 are repeated, and then it's on to Stage 9, Waikoiti, a 14k gravel road. Fast, but with a few blind brows. Great spectating right beside State Highway 1 as the cars head back to Dunedin via Silver Peaks, a private forestry stage with some slippery clay. But spectators should head to the Tarmac Superstage in Dunedin. Follow the crowds and find a place on one of the 4 corners. Stand by for action as the cars slide, bang and crash their way around the block.
Hi, I'm Stone Cox. My favourite stage in Otago is Curry Bush, and this year it's the power stage, so I hope I have a chance of winning it again.
More like Finland than New Zealand with countless crests, and it just gets faster and faster.
Hi, I'm Josh Marston. My favourite stage at Rally Otago would have to be Macintosh Road. Great spectator point in the middle, and if you came for a wee bit of a walk further into the stage, one of the biggest jumps in New Zealand.
Berwick Forest will provide a fitting challenge for the last leg of the rally, a 45-kilometre safari through the toughest forest roads in the championship. This will be an endurance test for driver and machine, and the rally result may be decided on this stage.
Hi, I'm Richard Mason, and we're off to Otago next. The best place to be, I reckon, is Waipori Gorge.
What a way to finish Rally Otago. It's worth a walk in from the stage end at Berwick Village to cheer the drivers on. The rally will finish at the historic Dunedin Railway Station at 4:30 p.m.
So there you have it. Remember that maps are available at Rally HQ Southern Cross Hotel. So South Island Rally fans, get to Dunedin this weekend. And for the rest of you, I'll be back with highlights from Rally Otago in 3 weeks' time. I'm Kendyl Coleman. I hope you enjoyed the show and I'll see you then.